I walk through the shadow of death left to fear. This is a journey through the halls of hell.
Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back again with another reaction in the Game of Thrones series. This is episode 7 of season 4 and it is called Mockingbird. Last episode, Tyrion knew the trial was all for show and he was destined to be found guilty. He wasn't putting up with it and demanded a trial by combat. Obviously there's loads more going on, but as I've said, I'm keeping these intros short, so without further ado, this is episode 7 of season 4 Mockingbird. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it.
I'm sorry, what am I grateful for? The opportunity to live and die at the wall as punishment.
Agreed, to people like Jon Snow the wall's cool, but to someone like Tyrion Lannister, you might as well give him life in jail or kill him. It's the same as those two things.
You fell in love with a whore.
Yes, and I was stupid enough to think that she had fallen in love with me.
He says that like Shay never loved him. I do think she maybe did at some point, but I guess if someone truly loved him, they wouldn't have done what she just did.
You could kill a king, lose a hand. Fuck your own sister, you'll always be the golden son.
Careful.
100%. Tyrion isn't treated the same as Jaime is, nor is Cersei. I think Tywin would always do his best to look out for Cersei and Jaime, but not so Tyrion.
My training has proved that I can't beat a stable boy with my left hand.
I think that's maybe a bit unrealistic. I believe that anybody who is like one of the best in the world at fighting, and Jaime Lannister is one of the best swordsmen in the world in this show, they would be able to, if they lost one arm, train their other arm to get similarly good. Never as good as they once were, agreed, but definitely better than a lot of people if they were already one of the best in the world. Perfect example of that is the UFC fighter Frank Mir, who was incredible when he was younger, but he had a terrible motorbike accident which caused lots of fractures in his body and completely forced him to change his style, and yet he still came back and won the UFC championship belt while making adjustments for all the horrible fractures he suffered in his accident. I mean, that guy beat Brock Lesnar post motorcycle smashing. Do you know how tough you have to be to get smashed off a motorcycle, get back up and then beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar? I mean, he didn't do it in the same day, but you know what I mean. Would have been even cooler if he did though. I wouldn't put it past him. Hey, and we finally have the final version of the Mountain. I feel like it's the one everyone remembers as the Mountain, even though he was twice recast. And of course, in real life, this guy is a real world strongman champion. Him and Eddie Hall had a good rivalry.
Does it matter?
And what a bitch Cersei is for picking the Mountain as Tyrion's opponent in a trial by combat. Imagine how lopsided that would have been if Tyrion had went in there himself. I mean, Game of Thrones is already classic, but surely it would have heightened it if there was a scene where a dwarf was punted, just passing the fucking dragon egg moon in slow motion like it's fucking E.T.
Tried to walk back to me hut. Then I remembered they burnt me hut down.
Fuck, that's a rough day. Fucking hell. How depressing is that?
Haven't you had enough? Of what? I know. Time to go.
Fuck, you know what? I feel like this guy is doing an amazing job of a guy just accepting his fate. I think he's maybe one of the best portrayals of it I've ever seen on screen, actually. It's such a small role, but just the acceptance, but dancing around the obvious sentences, and yeah, it's just very well done.
Nothing isn't better or worse than anything. Nothing is just nothing.
Who are you?
It's like he's being visited by a ghost.
You give me. I give you. Fair.
Yo, this actor is killing this shit. I don't know who he is, but he just rolled up on set for some small role and made all the other actors look at their fucking shoes. That was the most merciful thing the Hound could have done in that situation. I also like how the Hound made it very quick, and the guy's last look almost looked up at Hound like, oh nice, you've done me right in the heart, this is going to be quick. It was almost an impressed smile.
The bounty on you is for killing Lannister soldiers.
You were Yoren's prisoners when he was taking me to the wall.
Oh shit, so he was. That was the guy in the same cage as Jack and Hagar. Yes. I don't know why, this is another scene I completely forgot happened. Arya is racking up the kill count before she gets to the House of Black and White.
This is no place for wild beasts. Lock him away, or I'll let Hobb throw him in tonight's stew.
Not even a nicely done on the mission beyond the wall you've just came back alive from. Straight away, fuck you and your direwolf.
Surprised you didn't ride over and say hello. The
king beyond the wall is your old friend, isn't he?
Oh, shut the fuck up, you egg.
Plug it with rocks and ice, flood it and let it freeze.
And how would we range north?
We wouldn't.
That was actually such a good throwaway suggestion by Jon Snow as to how to block the passageway underneath the wall. I wish they'd have done that. Flood it with rocks and ice and freeze it. That's genius.
The tunnel's gate won't stop them.
Remind me which order you belong to, Lord Snow.
How is telling him the real prowess a giant possesses showing him any sort of disloyalty? He's trying to prepare him for the oncoming battle. Thorne's character sometimes is understandable, sometimes seems counterproductive to his own cause.
You and Tarly will take night duties atop the wall until the full moon.
I'm such a night owl, that would be my ideal job. Getting to stand up, even though yes, it would be very cold, but getting to stand up, the view you would get, I would actually kind of love it. Plus you're working with another guy, so it's not like you just sat there bored all night. You could talk shit, play cards, etc. It would be cool. And then you're sleeping in the daytime while all these mugs are having to go north of the wall and fight wildlings. You're chilling in your little wall bed, snug as a bug.
You like him? Eh? Gloves are doeskin.
No, I don't like them, Bronn. They do not suit you. They will never suit you. Get back in your cutthroat attire.
She still gets Castle Stokeworth when her father dies.
Unless she happens to perish before her father.
And you know Bronn is more than happy to kill a random woman in exchange for a castle. That's a good trade. You know, if you're a cutthroat psychopath like Bronn.
If I emerge from this, I may one day rule the North. Could carve you out.
If and may and could.
True, they're all possibility words. They're not good things to be saying in your sentences when trying to convince people. When I live, I will inherit the North and will carve out a big chunk for you, is how he should have worded that.
Why should I risk it?
Because you're my friend.
And when have you ever risked your life for me?
You know what, it's a good point, and also, usually if this was another character, I would fucking hate them for saying this to Tyrion, but because Bronn has always worn his heart on his sleeve, you know who he is, you know what he's about, of course he was going to take that stance. It's almost expected. I'm not surprised Bronn said this to Tyrion. I understand why someone like Bronn would say that. And he did make a good point. Tyrion wouldn't be doing no trial by combat against the Mountain to free Bronn out of jail.
What will you do?
I suppose I'll have to kill the Mountain myself.
Not gonna lie, it would have been the fucking best shit ever. It would have probably been a bit too much on the corny and unbelievable side, but I would have loved to have seen Tyrion, David versus Goliath, the Mountain, just catch him with a little sneaky thing and kill him. And then he would always go down as the man that slayed the Mountain. I know it's just probably a bit too much, I get it. But George R.R. Martin derives things from, you know, as we've spoken about, everything from Robin Hood to Hadrian's Wall, Frankenstein, etc. Why not throw in a little bit of David versus Goliath?
If I want you here, I will summon you.
Forgive me, my queen. I live to serve you.
No offense to the one I knew, but I do think this guy is the better of the two Dario Naharis. But in the defense of the guy I've met, he definitely would have been a better Deadpool villain than this guy. So he made the correct choice leaving the show, because Ed Skrein left this show to film Deadpool 1. So not a dumb decision. That is the fanciest looking liquor bottle I've ever seen in my life.
Take off your clothes.
That's all he wanted to hear. He didn't swim 10 miles and pick some wildflowers for nothing. Game of Thrones always with that balance, from man ass straight to witch titty.
That's the one.
Okay, book readers, explain this to me. The witch is not currently wearing her necklace, but is yet still in her youthful form. Is that due to some intoxicant she has put in that bath, or some other reason? Or is it an actual plot hole?
Did you use it with Stannis?
That's a sad bit of the real human being of her coming out there, behind her religious programming, you know, just the human instinctive, did Stannis really want to have sex with you when he's married to me, or was it some witch shit?
She should stay home. That is impossible.
So this is the inception of us leading up to Princess Shireen's death. This is absolutely fucking horrible. Gotta be the worst point in the entire show, is it? I'm trying to think if there's a worse point than that, but that has got to be the single most fucked up thing. More fucked up than the Red Wedding.
Are you here to see our queen? She's in a good mood.
Oh, you didn't have to add that comment, for fuck's sake. Just drive a dagger in his heart while you're at it, why don't you?
I've sent him and the Second Sons to retake Yunkai.
You have?
Hey, that cheered him up a bit. Who can hate Jorah? He's fallen in love with the beautiful queen of the world, and he just wants to do everything noble and please her, and he just wants her to love him back. She's never gonna love him back like he loves her, but he tries.
Herding the masters into pens and slaughtering them by the thousands is also treating men like beasts.
Again, a counter-argument by one of her closest aides speaking against a more brutal suggestion which she herself is suggesting. Season 8 foreshadowing.
I wouldn't be here to help you if Ned Stark had done to me what you want to do to the masters of Yunkai.
Seriously, how many times is she actually going to be taught a moral lesson by one of her closest aides about not slaughtering the most amount of people? She is ruthless by nature. How did nobody else see this?
Live in my new world, or they can die in their old one.
I take it back, that's the leader of a new peaceful world if I've ever seen one.
Tell him you changed my mind.
Oh, she emboldened him even further as he left her. And that's why they stick with her, even through her brutal nature, because they can change her. Small comments like that is all Jorah needs to hear to feel like 1,000 men.
No fire!
Sort of gave away your hand there, bro. You could just hold that ember and walk backwards and escape right now.
No reward's worth this much trouble. We should never laid eyes on you.
It's rare Hound has moments of self-doubt like this. I guess fire brings out the self-doubt in the Hound.
I thought I stole one of his toys. I didn't steal it, I was just playing with it.
What a fucking sad story from someone like the Hound. Shit. He just wanted to play with the toy.
Let me wash it out. And help you sew it up at least.
Oh man, the growth these two have had throughout this season. Every single scene with these two has been so well written. They are the best double act in this whole show. Could have watched a spin-off of just these two and their adventures throughout Westeros for like 20 million seasons, to be honest.
Bit of comfort never hurt anyone.
Sort of psychopath only cuts the pie through the top part of the pastry but leaves the bottom uncut.
This will do nicely, thank you. Kidney pie is wonderful. Thanks.
Hey, it's hot pie. Now actually making pies. Up until this point, he's been more, you know, cold bread.
Don't get me started on the gravy. Very difficult to get right. See, a lot of people give up on the gravy.
Oh god, Brienne's irritated face there.
Starks? No, ain't seen anyone like that. They was all traitors.
What a good friend. I love hot pie. Covered his friend straight away.
Going by the name Harry.
So what happened to her? Well, the quick version.
We all have one friend who's like this.
This one turned out better.
Look at that, he has absolutely mastered the wolf bread now. And here comes his saving grace.
I did spend some time with an absolutely stunning blonde the other day.
I think if I was going to live anywhere in Westeros, I would probably be a Winterfell or a Dorne guy.
Making honest feelings do dishonest work is one of her many gifts.
What a good line of dialogue that is. Making honest feelings do dishonest work.
She's wanted this for a long time.
Yes, I know.
So depressing. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have your own family ostracize and hate you to that level.
A monster that had been born to Tywin Lannister.
Fucking hell, this is such a deep little story. It shows how accepting and understanding the Dornish people were though, and how fucking horrible the Lannister family were to put those rumours out there.
No red eye, no tail between your legs, just a tiny pink cock.
Didn't have to add that, Oberyn, but I appreciate you lightening the tone a little bit there.
The baby. And she said he killed my mother.
Pedro Pascal's delivery of this dialogue. Fucking hell, why did he make him do the Batman voice and anything else? He's got a great acting range, a great emotional range. He can do all sorts of shit and they're like, no, subdue it, Pedro, and talk like Batman. And everything he does.
He always gets what she wants.
And what about what I want?
This scene is brilliantly written. Is this a scene from the books? It seems like the dialogue is book level of writing, which I class as, you know, a level above, I guess, script level writing for some reason.
I want to bring those who have wronged me to justice, and all those who have wronged me are right here.
Prince Oberyn's a fucking legendary character. I'm actually, like, feeling my hair stand on end in this scene, and I've seen it like 3 fucking times.
I will be your champion.
So legendary. So legendary. I mean, the way it ends is fucking horrific, but that scene, brilliant. Sansa's having a happy moment. Let us enjoy it while it lasts. She is actually smiling. Here's hoping something doesn't just come along and ruin it. Well, look who it is.
My family doesn't live there anymore, and someone burned it down.
Here's a question. When they do actually go back to Winterfell, Sansa said there somebody burned it down, so is it somewhat reconstructed later, or is that a burnt down Winterfell we are seeing later on? Because it doesn't look burnt down.
Be careful! You've ruined it, now I'm going to have to rebuild the whole thing. I didn't ruin it!
That's a bit of an overreaction, Sansa. He just knocked a quarter of the roof off. I mean, now it'll be way harder to rebuild, but it's probably a more accurate looking version of it.
I hit him.
Yes, I saw.
Shouldn't have done that.
No.
Always fucking watching this weasel of a man, isn't he?
If he tells Aunt Lysa...
Let me worry about Aunt Lysa.
Well, just hearing Baelish say, let me worry about Aunt Lysa, makes me think this might be the episode she's getting thrown out the moon door.
Why did you really kill Joffrey?
I loved your mother more than you could ever know.
I don't believe that's the real reason for a second. The real reason is, of course, so he can gain more power. I do think at one point he genuinely loved Lady Catelyn though. Oh, he's a fucking piece of shit. And you're lucky that machine guns were not around in old Westeros, otherwise both of you would have looked like you just beefed with Al Capone.
The impact breaks them right apart, like eggs dropped on the floor.
I mean, if someone started to give a Bond villain speech to me while looking down at the open moon door, I might take a few steps backwards.
I pulled a liar! He is mine!
Oh, you don't want to be getting on the wrong side of this, crazy Sansa. This woman is so good at acting crazy.
I'll send her away. I swear to all the gods.
He is just prepared to fucking lie to anything on any level to anyone at any time to get what he wants. None of this means shit.
I have only loved one woman, your sister.
I mean, he didn't need to go with the bait and switch kill, but okay. Peter Baelish with the fake out murder over here. Okay, and that was episode 7 of season 4 of Game of Thrones, Mockingbird, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Mockingbird, what did I think of that? Another brilliant episode. First of all, I feel like we got the culmination of Arya and the Hound's story arc this season. She clearly does care for him a lot, wanted to help him with his wound. He opened up to her about the story of his brother and the fire, and yeah, you can tell at this point they really are friends and really do look out for one another. And the double acts help break up the drama in this episode, because we also got the scene following that of Brienne and Podrick, who are again one of my favourite double acts in the whole show, and we got that little scene of them in the tavern which was more light-hearted with Hot Pie getting involved, but they also got sent on the case of Arya, which makes me worried that the Brienne and Hound clash is coming up very soon. And then it was kind of like blind date. There was multiple suitors going to the dungeon to turn Tyrion Lannister down and let him know they would not fight on his behalf. We got Jaime explaining that he wasn't able to fight anymore, Bronn explaining it just made no sense for him to do it and who can blame him, but then Prince Oberyn coming in clutch at the end and saying he will fight on Tyrion's behalf, and of course it's glorious. And I was saying while watching it, that scene is so well written, it's just a shame it leads to such fucked up horrible tragedy, which I'm assuming we're going to have to endure next episode. Jon's back at the wall and Alistair Thorne is instantly breaking his balls again. I mean, they can't catch a break. Everything Jon does, he's either shutting down or cutting off his nose to spite his face. Like that idea Jon had about filling up the tunnel with rocks and ice was so good, and it really would have helped. If you think about when that battle actually happens, the giant does get in through the tunnel and loads of them die trying to defend the tunnel. If they'd have just put rocks and ice in it right now, that wouldn't have been a breach point, and that would have been one of the problems solved. And to think about it, like, this is a huge war coming up. This is no time for Thorne just to be stubborn of an individual and his ideas. I mean, he's about to face a giant army. Any good idea should be encompassed, even if it's suggested by someone you dislike. I think Princess Shireen is going to die soon as well. The Red Woman is saying it is impossible to leave Princess Shireen at the castle, so it makes me think they're bringing bringing her with them for this purpose, and it is the single worst scene in this entire show when that shit happens. I don't even want to watch the screen, in fact. See, when that shit happens, I ain't even gonna look at it. Fuck that shit. And this seems to be the high point of Peter Baelish starting to really manipulate Sansa. You know, we got that scene with her and Robin slapping him, just showing they're both still children, essentially, but then Baelish imposes himself on Sansa, kisses her, and Lysa Arryn saw it happen, so you knew shit was gonna hit the fan. Clearly Sansa hasn't wisened up too much, because like I said, as soon as she started saying that fucking crazy "I know what you did" shit, I'd have like took 10 paces back and put my back against the wall. I would have made her work really hard to drag me to the moon door. She would have been tired. As I died, I would have been like, "I can see you breathing heavily." For one final victory, you know, before the splat. And Baelish with a bait and switch murder. He didn't need to have that line of dialogue. "I've only ever loved one woman. Your sister, haha, poof." Like, I don't know why they wrote it like that, but okay. Seems a bit hacky for one of the most legendary shows of all time, but it's cool. We'll go with the fake out murder. Let's do that. But yeah, all joking aside, another brilliant episode, and I cannot wait to see what happens next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron. It helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA. Peace.